You ran 100 marathons in 100 days.
I did, yeah.
What I'm most curious about is what was the morning of day 101 like? Brooks ran 100 marathons in 100 days, thousands of miles around a track. Relay ran across the country, all in an effort to promote his startup, Earthy.
Having a goal and something to go towards is so beneficial. We need to be working towards something, and if you're not working towards something, it's like we're just wasting our time.
What would you say is the earliest memory of you that clearly suggests that you're a guy who might go run 100 marathons in 100 days?
It's a good question. I need to see how many marathons I can run in a row, or like I need to run from LA to Vegas, or I need to do these like such extreme things to just like show what I'm capable of, you know? And
do you think there was something you were trying to prove?
I struggle a lot with self-doubt and even just like my own saying I'm proud of myself. And so like I was like the shyest kid. It's something I'm still actively working on, even like having done these on paper insane things. Well, I could have done this better. I could have, done the content better. It's like it's always a constant thing in my head.
There was a study that was done where pulled a large group of men who had attempted suicide but didn't succeed in it. They were asked what were the words they used to describe themselves. And the number one word that came up was useless. There is no use in me. What's the point of me? Is the number one reason men commit suicide is this lack of purpose. All I want, man, is for just more guys to have more purpose. So you ran 100 marathons in 100 days.
I did, yeah.
What I'm most curious about is what was the morning of day 101 like?
The morning of day 101, I slept in, which was nice.
Yeah.
It was weird because it was kind of like a little bit of a what do I do now feeling. But I also, I'd already had other challenges lined up. And so there's actually an injury that popped up on day 100
That's lucky. Could have been day 12.
Well, yeah. And that's another insane thing of like, 1 through 99, I was totally fine. On day 90, I said, I set that this challenge, there was no end to it. It was ongoing until we hit a goal. On day 90, I said, we're close enough. I'm going to stop at 100. And then from day 91 to 90 to essentially 100, my body kind of like fell apart. And like every day got worse and worse. And I got tired and I got over it. And then on day 100, something in my Achilles flared up that like by mile 25, 26, I was having to limp through it. And so like literally I would not have been able to run 101.
So like it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I think it worked out. It definitely worked out perfectly, but I think it was my body and my mind like holding it together until the finish line, you know? And it was like, well, thank gosh, we're there. Let's just hold it together.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I didn't set the end at day 90, I probably could have gone to like 150, 200.
Yeah.
But just like the mentalness of it was interesting.
So when you look back at you growing up, where did you primarily grow up? You mentioned you moved around a lot, but like where would you credit home to be?
I don't.
You
like,
can't.
Yeah. Like we moved every year and a half. And so before college, I lived like 14 different places from like, I was born in Newport, Rhode Island. We went to Illinois, all up the East Coast, some Northern California. Went to high school in Nebraska, Illinois. So yeah, there's no home.
What would you say is the earliest memory of you that clearly suggests that you're a guy who might go run 100 marathons in 100 days?
It's a good question. I was always like the super active kid. So I played every sport. I was always doing stuff, running around outside. I mean, when you asked what's the earliest memory, it went to this like mountain lake we went to every year. And that's all we would do is like run around outside and just kind of essentially run around all day.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely it. I think growing up, moving so much, I was, very passionate, loved sports, but I never really, because I was always the new kid and because I was always starting over and the coach didn't know me in this, I would never like have the chance to actually like play or be on the team or have the opportunity. And so there was never like, that kid's like super athletic or he's got a gift. It was almost like just kind of the shy kid on the bench vibe,
Sure.
And so I almost had to like pull this version out of myself. Yeah.
Do you think there was something you were trying to prove, whether it was to yourself or to others at some point?
For sure, yeah.
What was that all about?
I mean, now I think it's, being in those situations of like there was always a coach, or there was always, even in my career, like there was always a boss, or there was always someone in a position to allow me to give me the chance to prove myself. And there was a lot of times when they just didn't, and they would go with someone else, or they would just kind of ignore me. And so now with like the company I started and these challenges, it's interesting that I don't just like sign up for a 100-mile race like a normal person would. It's like
A normal person.
or
normal
a marathon.
Sure.
I'm like, no, I need to see how many marathons I can run in a row, or like I need to run from LA to Vegas, or I need to do these like such extreme things to just like show what I'm capable of, and yeah.
What's the typical reaction, or some of the typical reactions you get from people when either they hear that you do this stuff or you tell them?
They always ask me how my legs are, and then
Like I did.
yeah, literally, yeah. I think a lot of people truly don't actually comprehend like what it is, when they like, because it's one thing to like actually, think about it and be like, okay, like logistically, how hard was this thing that he did? To just be like, oh wow, that's great, that's a crazy thing. But every now and then I'll get a reaction of someone who like truly like comprehends and thinks about it, and they're like I guess flabbergasted. They're like, oh my gosh, like you did what? And they're like, they can't compute it, and I'm like, okay, so they actually like are getting what I did, and I think a lot of people, it's so outrageous and it's just so grand that it kind of just, it flies over their head,
I mean, I remember when we first met, I don't know if you remember this, but I vividly do, because it was, there's probably a dozen people in my life that I remember vividly meeting them because it was such a shocking moment of meeting.
Yeah.
And
it's on the hike, right?
yeah, so we met for like a Sunday afternoon ruck in November of last year.
Yep.
And you had, I think it was a fresh tattoo on your thigh that was just the number 100.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, and I knew I saw you were a runner. And you have the body run. I was like, would you like run 100 miles or something? Thinking like, that's a lot. Like you do like a 100-mile race. And you're like, oh yeah, no, I did 100 marathons in 100 days.
Yeah.
And I had that like flabbergasted. You fucking serious, dude? And then the rest of the hike, you're kind of like in and out of the people. And I kept wanting to come back and be like, so wait, hold on. Like 100 marathons? And I had all these questions. And I wonder, do you like everyone's reactions like that?
Yeah.
Does it feed you?
It definitely does.
Yeah.
And honestly, like getting the tattoo, is almost to get that reaction, It's like, I didn't really need it for myself to remind myself. I did, but it's more of like, I'm not going to be the one to tell you like, oh, by the way, I ran 100 marathons in 100 days. I just won't tell you.
Yeah.
But I had to like, I struggle a lot with self-doubt, and even just like my own, I don't know, saying I'm proud of myself. And so like I had to put a tattoo on my leg to like force other people to like say something, to force me to like talk about, what I've done, and hope to sort of build up my own confidence.
We're definitely going to circle back to the and the self-confidence piece.
Yeah.
But first, I'm curious, have you found that it's actually inspired others a lot to see that tattoo on your leg?
For sure, yeah.
And what's that like for you?
It's super cool. Just the journey itself is people have been like, oh my gosh, I signed up for my first 5K, or I signed up for my first marathon, or
I mean, I was so excited today to tell you I signed up for 2 big.
Yeah. And it's so cool. And I love that. I think running was used as such a punishment, and it was like such a negative thing as we grew up, whether it be with sports or people with weight gain, weight loss. It was such a negative thing. And I think I've found through my own journey that running is like so beautiful and fun and healing. And even like when I do these super challenging things, I try to have like a very positive, happy-go-lucky spin to them. And so people can see them and be like, wow, if that guy is doing that and he's still having fun, like surely I can go for a run down the block, and just have a good time.
Yeah.
That's kind of part of what I'm doing.
Well, let's talk about the self-doubt piece.
How much time you got?
Always since you were a kid?
Yeah. I was like the shyest kid out there. I was like tall and lanky, and I was always, the moving all the time didn't help. So it was always just like, having to start over, having to be fresh. Didn't have like my friends I knew, and kind of always just got plopped into the situation. And it's something I'm still actively working on, even like having done these on paper insane things. it's still something that I'm like, well, I could have like done this better. I could have, done the content better, or like we didn't sell as much as we wanted to. It's like, it's always a constant thing in my head.
How old are you now?
33.
33.
Yeah.
What would be your word of wisdom, your advice to the shy kid who's like, let's call him in high school right now. We'll run a couple different scenarios. Let's start there.
Okay.
The shy kid in high school.
Just on life in general, or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Now that I don't want to say fully conquered that guy. We'll get to that maybe, but you've evolved a lot.
Sure.
And you found tools and you found vehicles to work through that.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's more your friend than it is like a past enemy that still haunts you a lot, or
depends on the day of the week.
Depends on the day. I get that. What would you say to that kid?
Just, keep going and like find what lights you up, and like it, it doesn't really matter what other people think. And so I think, I've always tried to like fit in with the cool kids, or like think what I should be doing. And, the running journey is definitely running's become popular, but like it was a pivot from that, and really just kind of listening to like what my soul has told me to do, and like, it hasn't been the most like, I'm not like blowing up on social or anything, but it really gives me joy and peace. And like, that's what matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe just like try to find what that is. And also just like surround yourself with like people who really love you. There's a lot of people who will say they want to show up, or they say they want to help, and they just don't. And, but during this last challenge, there's so many people who would show up every day and run with me and be there. And like 5 a.m. they're there at the track waiting for me. And so like, that was super cool to see that as well too.
So that was the last challenge, Earthy 5000.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
That was another challenge I created for myself. They always come at moments of like when the company really needs like a big spark of energy. And so, yeah, we were sort of hitting the plateau. We had some investors who want to see some like big progress, and we didn't have any capital. And so I said, hey, why don't I just run in circles around a track and not stop until we hit a sales goal?
Yeah. 5,000 bags sold.
5,000, yeah.
And how'd it play out?
It, for some reason, and I literally was like gonna run nonstop. So like the first day I started on a track. The hardest part was not the hardest part. One of the hardest parts was like finding a track that would let me do that.
Yeah.
And so that was like a whole different thing. I had to apply.
Which you wouldn't imagine.
And especially in LA, it's like there's tracks everywhere, but they're very specific and hard to get into. And so I literally had to apply to a community college and get a student ID to like let me use it. Which was hilarious.
That's a great story.
Yeah, I was literally in the.
How tedious was that application process?
It did make me feel good about myself, because I'm like, okay, I can, and I got accepted, and I got in, and I was like, great, at least you can get accepted. Did you have to like write an application essay? No, it was just like, did you go to high school?
Yeah.
Did you do this? Like, what do you want to study?
Sure.
But I got in.
Okay.
And so, yeah, once I started, I thought it would only go a few days. So I literally started at like 7 a.m., ran all day, was going to go through the night on the track. Security came at like 7:30 p.m. and was like, you can't stay here after dark. We said, okay, cool. Found a park literally down the street that was in the shape of a circle, started running around that park. Track opened in the morning, went back, started running. And then it was by like halfway through day 2 that I was like, this is going to go longer than like 2 or 3 days. I literally only thought it would go 3 or 4 days. So this is going to go longer than 3 or 4 days. And so then it pivoted to an ultra a day around the track. So that was like 30 to 31 miles a day. And that went on like within the first month, I hit 1,000 miles in a month around the track, which is psychotic. And then from there, we had like some events that we were sponsoring up in Mammoth and different places. And so I had to like leave the track, which to me, I was like, this thing is ruined. Like I'm off the track. And turns out like no one really cares that much other than me. And so then I was like still keeping it going as we traveled up to Mammoth or back at the house or whatever. So then that stuck around for 56 days of an ultra every single day. And then it just became like, this is going on too long. So I had to drop it to like a marathon a day, which is what it ended up going like 115 days over 3,000 miles, which was an experience.
Okay. When you're just like, do you get into the pain cave?
For sure, yeah.
And you're in there all day.
all day.
All day.
The heat wave that came through during the start of that, like that first month, was insane.
What's going through your head?
Fuck this.
Just like nonstop.
Yeah, this is like, I can't, and the dauntingness of it, of like, oh my gosh, like I would break them up into segments. So I'm like, I still have like 12 more miles. And the thing about the track is, it's not like, if you go run on a trail or something, you can kind of tune out and just like the miles will go. The track, it's like you're so aware of like every lap you do. And I'm like, okay, well, I have 4 more as a mile. And then I have this. It's just like the mental torture is pretty crazy.
Yeah. I almost think that I was like, at some point you could start hallucinating or just like, having weird, almost like day 3 thoughts. You ever heard that term? It's, like if you just go solo backpack in the mountains by yourself for a while, like by day 3, you start like talking to yourself and like things get weird and it's just things get a little funky.
Things get funky. Things get funky. I mean, there was one day where I put a blindfold on and like ran a mile blindfolded because I just knew it so well. So yeah, I didn't completely start hallucinating, but I was definitely weird.
Do you regret it?
No. Yeah. I think I had no idea, even the 100 marathons, like I had no idea how long it would go. And, but like it turned into an epic thing. And I think there were moments of the Earthy 5000 where like, I was like, this is it. I should call it. It's not really working anymore. And then I would even had like a random stranger send me a DM saying like, this isn't working. You should stop. We turned it into like a hit EDM song, and then that like
it's kind of wild that people literally like went out of their way to tell you to stop.
Yeah,
like the fuck are you? Like, why do you care that much
about what I'm doing? Yeah. So that was like, the chip on my shoulder was like, oh, okay, like I'm gonna not stop now. There was like 2 or 3 phases of that where I was gonna quit and decided to just keep going, and I'm glad I did. But then when it came time to like, okay, I think I should stop now, it felt good to call it a day.
And what was the next day like on that one? How many days total was it?
115.
All right, so day 116. Waking up on 116.
So the difference between the two, because like the first time I ran 100 marathons in 100 days, which I'm sure we'll talk about, like the downside of it, the whole 6 months after, it was like really, really hard mentally on me. Like I was depressed for like 5-6 months afterwards, and it was really hard to get through. So for this one, I was aware of that going into it, of like, hey, there's another side of this. Let's prepare. And so, I do work with a therapist. So I kind of was like, had that set up. There was a lot of research I did around just like, it's almost like you're addicted to something and then you just like stop cold turkey. Your body's going to be like, what the heck? And so at the end of the first 100 marathons, I actually got really injured. And so I couldn't physically move, which was really hard for me. And I'm like a very antsy like person. I need to move. And so for this one, I was very aware that I like tailored down the runs. And so I would like, go run 10 miles and then take a day off and then go run 10, another 10 miles and go down. But I also incorporated like a lot of strength training into the come down as well too, which has been like really, really nice. Even towards the end of it, my body would be like craving lifting weights, which I'm not a big weightlifter, but I would be like, oh, okay. Like, so I would go run, then go to the gym and like throw some weights around. And so like having that to kind of like tailor off running has been night and day.
It's really fascinating. You mentioned the dark period you had after the first 100 marathon sprint, if you will, because I'm currently in the early days of my 3rd training chapter. My first was when I was like for months like training for an event. My first was like 3 years ago. Second was last year. Third is now this year. And looking back, and it's one of the reasons I signed up for the 3rd, is I was like, oh shit, by far I am my happiest when I'm training.
For sure, yeah.
And then I finished whatever the thing is I'm doing. The first was jiu-jitsu competition. Second was Big Spartan Beast. And like next day, I then just immediately cold turkey, like go in rest mode. I'm like, I gotta like recover and like chill. Like I earned this, and I go relax. And then I enter a chapter of like being a piece of shit, and then feel like shit. What's going on there?
Well, you are a piece of shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Sometimes.
I think it's like having a goal and something to go towards is so beneficial of like your energy, your focus, it's everything. And so then to like hit that and be done with it and be now just in this abyss of like, well, what do I,
Aimlessness.
yeah. So that's like a huge, what do I do? Especially us as like men, we're like, no, we need to be working towards something. And if you're not working towards something, it's like, we're just wasting our time. And so that's a huge thing. There is like a huge physical, psychological thing happening with like you're pushing your body hard. I mean, you've heard of like marathon blues is a full thing where like people
actually have not heard that.
Yeah, it's like you get your endorphins up so high on race day from running and all the hype and everything, and then come Monday, Tuesday, you drop, you're depleted, you're sore, you're tired. There's definitely like a down phase of it. And so especially when you have like a huge training block going into it, those two together can like really, really hit you down. During the first one, when I was finally, the hardest part for me was like, I've never been depressed before. And so being in that, I wasn't sure, I didn't know what was happening.
What was happening?
I was like, I couldn't get out of bed. I was like super.
Literally. So that's the line you hear a lot.
Yeah.
Depression. Couldn't get out of bed.
Yeah.
This came up like once or twice on the show before, and I dug into it a bit. And then when I walked away, I regretted not digging into it deeper.
Okay.
So you're down to dig into this a little bit.
Yeah.
What does that really actually mean, look like, and feel like when you're saying like, I couldn't get out of bed?
Yeah.
Are you literally like laying in bed and like you can't move your legs onto the floor?
No, for me, it was like, I was so tired and I would be laying there and be like, I don't really want to go like do anything. Like I just want to, and for me too, it's like, I also have my startup, which is still a startup, and I'm like anxious about that. And so it's like, it's almost safer for me to just like stay in bed and sleep and recover than to go like deal with other stuff or like face other challenges, And so for me, and it was almost like a nice thing where I'm like, oh, I need to recover. Like I need to, which I'm sure there was a small element of that, but I'm like, I would get in bed at 8 p.m. and not get out of bed till like 8:30, 9 a.m. So I'm like in bed for 12, 13 hours, and still could be like, well, I could have slept till 10. Not so much like I can't move my body, but more like my brain doesn't have the motivation to like get up and go,
and normally it does.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is what I was experiencing.
Okay. So you started there. What else was going on?
That was a big one. It was like the biggest one was like motivation to like want to do anything. And just honestly like joy and happiness. Like I'm a very fun, silly person. I think it was like July, we were up in the mountains, my wife and I, and like I was just always in like a bad sort of pissy mood. And she's like, what's wrong with you? Like you love nature, you love being outside, we're on a camping trip right now, like, and you're just like so upset with everything. And that was the first kind of time where we were like, oh, maybe something's wrong. And then we sort of like started talking to people, and then she has a friend who's in mental health, and she was like, yeah, those are like kind of signs of depression, like maybe you should look into that. And what was interesting was that I'd never thought of it before. I never was considering it. I was like going to the hospital, getting my labs drawn. I was going to PT. I was like, surely something is physically wrong with me, so I need to fix that. But then the second we kind of looked at them, could be depression or like the mental side of it, I was like, oh, like that's definitely it, And the second, like, I kind of had an idea of like, oh, this is happening. This is okay. It's happening. Like, let's work through it. Was like a huge step in the right direction for me to be like, okay, cool. Like you're allowed to feel what you're feeling. And there'd be moments too where I'd have like a crash out, or like I wouldn't be feeling well or something. And typically I'd be like, no, figure it out, like push hard. And Lauren, my wife, would give me the space to be like, it's okay. Like, it's okay. Like you can be in this phase right now, like that's fine. So
it's
that was
okay
like,
to not be okay.
Yeah. And that was like super helpful to like, okay, thank you. Like I can sit with this and sort of, work through it.
When you say sit with this, what does that look like for you?
For me, it was honestly just like being patient with it, where typically I'm like, okay, great. I need to like go here, go do this, talk to this person, go to this.
Do this journaling prompt, watch this thing, meditate,
go to PT, whatever it is. And so the like pulling back from that, almost like taking my foot off the gas to just be like, no, it's okay. Like just chill and like go at your own pace, and like whatever that looks like that day is fine, was great.
I remember I was like 26 and I was going through a rough moment and went to a friend of mine at the time. And it was one of those days where like, I got like feeling very manic about like, I have to go like do all the things to solve this and just like get this feeling out of my body. And 26, I didn't really know I had many tools yet. And I'm really proud of him because him also, I think he was 25 at the time. He was like, nah, dude, just sit with it. I was like, what? I cannot just sit with this. Like, I'm crawling out of my skin, sitting on the fucking couch by myself, like ready to blow my brains out. I have to go do something. Even just like going for a bike ride, or I literally would go to the gym. I'd come home, I can't sit now. And then I'd go for a run. And I'd go to the store and I'd run errands. Like it just would nonstop. Had to keep moving through it. He's like, nah, man, just like sit with it and like let it pass. And it was kind of the first time I actually heard that, which is pretty sad that like no one ever said that to me prior to 26 years old.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it meant. And I still struggle to understand what that really means. No, just sit with it.
Yeah.
Because when I hear that, I take it literally. Do you want me to sit on the couch and just like stare at a wall and just like ruminate in it and like think about it and like rot in it? Can I at least like go move my body and like do something and like think about it then? Is that okay? And like, I don't know. So I've always struggled with that term. Just can't fucking sit. I can't do anything. I can't sit still at all. I'm always jittery and moving around. So I don't know. I feel like there's a couple things to discuss there. One is like, how do we teach dudes to just sit with it? Because by the way, it does work.
Well, how did it work for you? Or what did you do?
It's just time.
Yeah.
It's just time. Things just like anything else, it just kind of moves through you and you process, and it's just like part of the grieving process, right? And I found for me, I through that experience, it was like the second or third time in my life I was just dealing with some hard shit. And so I could then, it wasn't like new, it wasn't like the first time I was dealing with life is hard. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like this is like another big challenge in life, and like life's filled with challenges. But what I learned from that one was I need to have a bit of a playbook. It's like, what does Jake do when life gets hard?
Yeah.
And I started to develop the playbook then, which is number one is go to a new place.
Nice.
So like literally go travel for a sec, like just remove yourself from the geography that you're like feeling the pain in. The second is new hobby.
Nice.
So go literally just like pick up guitar. That was my first time. Second time I picked up martial arts.
Nice.
You got to like dive into a new thing that you can learn about. Like there's some education in it. There's gear you can buy, new community.
I think, I mean, honestly, I'll give you the third one is like community.
Yeah.
And like what I've found is it's so easy for us to trap ourselves in our house, in our room, and just be in it. But to just like go be around people, whether that be every city has a run club, easy one. You know, I just joined like an improv class. That's like a group of 10 people. And it just like physically seeing someone is so helpful. Like I feel like, you know, even this week I was spinning in my own brain, and yesterday I just went and like went on a walk with somebody, and it was amazing, you know, and it was just like, oh wow, you know, you really feel like you're in it, but then you pop out of it with someone else and you're like, okay, this is just pull above it maybe.
I've even found literally it's this simple. Just don't really be horizontal.
What does that mean?
It means like if I'm laying on the couch or laying in my bed, something for me at least, something about being in that position, I start to ruminate and I think of like everything I've ever done wrong, every mistake I've ever made. And I get really anxious. And then the second I stand up, I feel it just like drain out of my head and into my body. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
So just like the second you're feeling a little off, literally, just fucking stand up and like move.
Yeah. And honestly, like get off of social media. Like my thing is I'll just be constantly comparing myself to others and seeing other things. And why don't I have that? And why am I not doing that? I should be doing X, Y, Z. And it's just an endless thing, you know? And so like recently I spent like 5 days. I have like a lock and I just lock myself out of it. And it's very healing.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So I do want to dig a bit more into this dark period you had after. Sounds like your entire year was hard because the first half is like fucking running a marathon every day for 100 days. And then the second half was dealing with the depression of coming out of that.
Yeah.
And then sounds like now you've designed some protocols or tools and stuff so that coming out of the next one, it's less bad. what's going on post Earthy 5000 now that it's your second and you're in the middle of that
right now. Yeah.
recovery period?
I mean, compared to the previous one, I think I'm doing much better. There definitely are days where I could sleep for 13 hours. And so that could be a mix of both of it happening again. I've been very, like I said, aware with like the previous one, I did get like really injured because I did the 100 marathons. I took a week off. I ran the LA marathon and I like went as fast as I could. And then the next week I did a race called the Speed Project from LA to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that just like completely destroyed me and like really messed up that injury in my leg. And so I was like really, really hurt and could barely like walk at the end of that one for like a couple months. So it was a little bit more intense of like a physical healing thing. But for this one, yeah, I think I've just been like very aware of what could happen and like I said, had the therapist in place, ready to go. I had like the offboarding approach, which has been super helpful. And so far it's been so good. Yeah.
Cool. So if you're asked to like coach somebody on, okay, I'm going to go do like a really hard thing for a while, what would be the plan that you designed for them for like race day and everything after?
I mean, race day is like a whole another conversation, but I would say, well, I mean, not really. I would say, you know, when I did the Speed Project, it's a race from LA to Las Vegas. It's no course, you just go. This was like, I did the 100 marathons, so I kind of like, I don't know, like Brooks as a runner was like on the scene now, and this was the moment. It's like a very high profile race, and this was my moment to like stamp my flag in the ground of like, oh, this guy's legit. And I had like a film crew. We had a whole thing. It was gonna be great. And on mile 6, that injury that I had hurt at the end of the marathon or the marathons came back like 10x than it did previously, and I could barely walk. It was so painful. So like someone took a knife to my leg. It was super gnarly. So then I had to like change my form for 15 miles. That totally torched my knees. I could barely put pressure on my knees. I had to like use the walking sticks to even walk. So my advice would be to anyone doing a race or anything big, you know, I was so down on myself. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this was it. Here I am. I had such high expectations to potentially place, do a really good time, make it a huge experience. And that's all out the window. Like, I don't even know if I can make it another mile right now. And so it took me like a day or two. The whole race was like 6 days. It took me like a day or two of just like suffering and beating myself down to realize that like, you know what, this race, what's happening was meant to happen. And there's no controlling it for me. And I did what I could to get here, and here we are. And so in this moment, I need to just accept what it's doing to me and like see what I can learn from it, what I can get out of it. And like, it's challenging me in a different way than I thought it would. And from that, you know, the mindset shift, it changed everything. It was like, okay, like this thing thinks it can like take me down at mile 6. We'll fuck this race. Like I'm going to keep going and I'm going to keep going and not stop. And I ran through like hail. I ran through rain in Death Valley. We got chased by dogs. We got chased by crackheads. Like it was a crazy experience. And I made it. We finished, and it was like the craziest thing, one that I've ever done. And so whether it be like if you've got a race or an adventure or something, it's like just going with your preparation, but then just be open to like the experience of it.
So hold on. There was a moment of surrender.
Yeah.
But then you were like, fuck that, and came back. Like, what was that about?
Dude, it was so painful. Like I could, every step was like shearing pain through my body, and my knees felt they were like, it was just like the most painful thing ever. And you know, it was, again, going back to my childhood of like, I never had the chance to do it. And so like, this is finally my chance, and it's blowing up in my face. And so when I realized, you know, I'm, you know, big into the plant medicine world, and some of these experiences and journeys, the whole point of it is to be like, well, what is this trying to show me and teach me? And you kind of have no idea what you're getting yourself into. And so when I made that connection of like, oh, this thing is a ceremony, and this, what is it trying to teach me right now? That's when it clicked to be like, oh, like you're going to have just absolute like on paper you should stop immediately, but just keep going and see what you're capable of. And when that hit, I was like, okay, like I can do that.
Yeah.
It was still very hard and super gnarly, but
I remember, I'll give a shout out to our homie Steve Collin.
nice.
Love Steve. Steve coaches me a lot. He was episode 1 of The Optimist.
Oh yeah, cool.
And in May of 2025, I did Spartan Beast at Big Bear.
Nice.
So, 21K obstacle race, up and down, very steep mountain at like 8,000 feet.
Sick.
And a couple days before, he texted me. He was like, "How you feeling? What's going on?" And you're like, taper off. He's like, "I've got a series of questions for you to journal about before the race."
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool. Thanks, coach.
Yeah.
And they were great questions. One of them was, what is your criteria to quit?
Mm.
And I sent him back some answers. I was like, yeah, I mean, basically, like, under what circumstances would need to exist during the race for you to quit, like, did not finish?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like, I'm not going to quit. He's like, no, like, seriously.
Yeah.
Or shit your pants. If you shit your pants, will you quit? If you break your leg, like if your leg is broken, you quitting?
Yeah.
If you are peeing blood, you quitting? Or if you twist your ankle, you quitting? If you bump your knee, you quitting? Like, design that. And it was actually a really fascinating exercise journaling that out, because at first you're just kind of like, no, I'm not going to, why would I, no quitting.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, okay, like, let's actually think about it. Like, if I break my leg, am I, what's this for?
Yeah.
Like, what am I trying to prove? It depends on the race, I guess.
Yeah.
And I designed it out. And it's funny because when I wrote down a few things. I was like, look, if I throw up, fuck, I'll keep going.
Yeah.
If I throw up blood, quit. If I'm peeing blood, quit.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen for a 21K, but like, who knows? If I have like an injury where I would need surgery, quit. An injury where I'm like, I can't walk, quit. Or like if I break my arm or shoulder, like, I don't know, I could still run probably, but like if it's the point where I can't like get over a wall, quit. And then I'm at like mile 5, I think. And I bashed my knee against this wall. It was the exact same fucking thing that happened to me in an earlier Spartan race I did like 3 years ago. It hurt so bad. I was limping. And I'm running out. I'm alone. It's like starting to rain. It's like totally in the pain cave. And the first thought in my mind was like, you're done. Quit.
Yeah.
And then it just like referred back to that journaling exercise. I was like, did I meet one of the criteria? Did you break your leg? No, it's not broken. I just like bruised my knee. And then it was like, okay. And it's so funny because what happened immediately then was the next thought was like, we're going to, for a little while, we're going to put this pain on pause. We're going to put it away.
Yeah.
We'll feel this pain tomorrow.
Yeah.
For right now, you finish this race.
Great.
And then I did. And the next day, then it hurt the next day.
Yeah.
I'm curious for you, do you answer questions like that prior to these races?
No. I mean, I wish I would have. I think had I had something like that, it would have been interesting, because the reason I kept going, there was like a just ignorance to it, and we would be racing, and there's like a group chat, and people would start dropping out. And
during the race,
this person dropped, and they were all there. It's because most of them, their ankles would get super swollen. And so I'm like, why are they quitting? Like, my ankles have been like, looked like I had elephantitis for like 2 days now. Like, why are they quitting? Little did I know like how long it would take to recover. And some of these people like had Boston or other things lined up for the year that they're like, well, I don't want this to ruin my whole year.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull out. But for me, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to keep going.
It's interesting.
So yeah, I don't know what would be on my list. But
what about for your company?
Yeah.
What would be your criteria to quit?
Oh, quit my company.
For your company.
Jeez.
I'm just going to pause also for anyone listening. Like,
yeah,
do this journal prompt for a lot of places in your life, for your business, your job. Obviously, like if you have an upcoming event that you hopefully are signed up for, maybe a relationship.
Yeah.
Kind of anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like really get like super specific. Yeah. What do you think would be for your company?
I'm going to delay that and talk about something so I can think in the background. But
okay.
To your point, before my wife and I got married, we worked with a coach and did like a full like premarital counseling thing. And one of the questions he asked us was between the two of us. If this marriage were to fail, why do you think it failed?
Yeah.
And that was super powerful. And I had to tell her why, if it was her fault, why, not fault, but like if it was because of her, why I think that was.
Would you be willing to share what you guys came up with?
Sure. She was raised by a single mom, and I think she saw her mom do it without a husband. And so hers would be like, I can do it without you. And I see that. She's like a very driven, awesome woman who honestly probably could do it without me, And so that would be hers. Mine, this is probably bad that I don't remember what mine was. Mine was, I think it's the self-doubt of like, I don't believe, I don't grow into like the man that I should be to like be her partner. And I kind of stay in this like zone here, and I need to be up there. Yeah. So we can circle back to that later.
Has the self-doubt, it seems like it's come up for you in a lot of different ways in your life.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say there's been more times where it's actually held you back and you kind of, for lack of a better word, lost to that internal dialogue?
Yeah.
Than that of times where you were like, you heard the voice and like, no, I'm going to do it anyway. And it was almost like a little bit of a tool for you, and then you overcame.
There's definitely been moments of both, I think like through these like running challenges I do, it's like a proof to myself, like what I'm capable of, but yeah, a lot of the times more in the day to day of like, oh, I don't want to reach out to this person because they're just going to ignore me, or, oh, I don't want to go do that because no one's going to acknowledge this. Or it's just like especially being an entrepreneur, like you have to put yourself out there all the time. And there's just always opportunities for that voice to just be like, see, like we knew that wouldn't happen, or see, like that sucks, or see, it's not working. And so, yeah, it's just like a constant, and I don't, I've tried to find like where it started, probably somewhere within the like moving so much, but I haven't been able to pinpoint the like, specific moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you talked about this with other high intensity athletes, entrepreneurs much?
Not really. No.
What would be do you think a lot of guys deal with this?
I think they do. Yeah.
Quietly.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on for the majority? And like, where is this stemming from for us? This being self-doubt.
Yeah. I think a lot of it, at least in my experience, has come from like comparison, and you're constantly like gauging ourselves towards other men and where they're at. And oh my gosh, I always play the age game. Like it's hilarious when I'm like seeing someone do well. I'm like, well, how old are they? And I look and I'm like, fucking 26. Like, dang, like that sucks.
I lost a race to a 21-year-old last night.
Yeah, there you go. Or like, I'm like, how many?
He was a little wasted too.
Yeah. See, yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, wait, how many followers does he have? Like, oh my gosh, like I should have started when I was in college, and it's just like a constant, I guess, comparing of like where I think I should be, where others are, and like why am I not there, And that for me just spins and spins and spins, and then it's almost like oh, I'm too late, so like I shouldn't step up and try to do it now because people are gonna judge me and be like, oh my gosh, like look at that guy. At least that's where. What do you think though?
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Similar. I got this tattoo on my inner arm. It's double black diamonds. I got it like basically the day after I graduated from college. I was 22, I want to say. And double black diamonds have always been a symbol for me growing up, especially start of like, you can conquer any trail on the mountain, right? Like,
yeah,
double blacks, snowboarder, mountain biking, right? And then it became a symbol for like, like you can do hard shit. Like this is the symbol for you to go for like the hardest route because it's where you learn the most, you grow the most, feel the most. And I just like then lived many years in that. And I was at first, like scared of the double blacks because like, oh, like what if I fall and get hurt?
Yeah.
Because that's what mom says is going to happen.
Yeah.
Mom being like the, figurative mom.
Yeah.
I definitely had a lot as a kid, to like paint a picture though, like you're at the park with all the guys, you're like 8 years old or 10 years old, all your neighbor and the boys know, I bet you can't climb that fence.
Yeah.
It's like, well, fucking watch me. And then you go for it. And like one kid breaks his leg and the other kids do it. I bet you can't beat so-and-so in a run race. It's always this like competitive nature. I think we have that in us innately. And I, a lot of times, lost. I wasn't the best athlete. I wasn't like the fastest by any means. Something about being a kid, if you're the fastest in the grade, you're the coolest kid in the grade. I wasn't that kid.
Yeah.
And so I had like this lack of confidence for so many years growing up and into my like late teens, early 20s that like, I'm not the fastest, I'm not the strongest. I'm definitely not able to win a fight in a bar if I need to. Didn't even want to acknowledge that truth in my early 20s. Not the smartest in my classes. So there was this like all this data that told me like you're not by any means a top performer. But I wanted to be so badly. One, to like at first prove to others who were quote unquote laughing at me. Turns out they never really were. And then it was just like, oh, I want to like prove to myself.
Yeah.
And then there was a chapter of like, okay, now like, I've proven it to myself in ways like, oh, I went and learned how to fight and like won some fights and martial arts. Oh, like I went and like started a company and it like was successful and I like whatever. And then, oh, I like moved a lot of weight in the gym and like more weight than that kid did. So it's just like, oh, cool. Like, okay, so it turns out I can do these things.
Yeah.
And so I think somewhere along the way, like I just, the self-doubt just kind of like started to go away.
Nice.
After I feel like all the enough double blacks in my life were conquered, for lack of a better word. But I constantly am comparing on the age piece. I'm 30. I turned 31 in a couple months. It's always immediately like, yeah, like what did they do at?
Yeah.
In the amount of time that we each had, how much did they pull off?
Yeah.
But at least I feel like I know, and I feel like you know this too. That's one talk track. Then the other talk track on this shoulder is just like, but that's not the game, bro. Like we all were starting at a different point. We all had different resources.
Yeah.
We're all literally chasing a different thing on different paths with our own journey. So like, why compare at all?
Yeah.
And I've been seeing this trend lately. I'm sure you see it as well, especially in the endurance and like hybrid athlete community on TikTok. That's like, just signed up for an Ironman or like just signed up for a marathon. And you see all these quotes of people being like, who are you trying to prove wrong? And like, what are you trying to show? And like, why do you think you can do this? All this stuff. And it's literally, he's like, who am I trying to prove this to? And then he shows a picture of him as a high school kid who's like this chubby piece of shit kid. He's like, that's the only guy I'm doing it for.
Yeah.
It's the only guy I'm doing it for is to make him proud. And not necessarily even to prove him wrong, just to make him proud.
Yeah.
And I resonate with that so deeply. Like, and it's nice. It's like graceful and blissful and peaceful, quite frankly, to be 30. And like literally the only guy that's in my head giving me any sort of chatter or self-doubt or anything is just 18-year-old piece of shit, skinny, lanky Jake, who was like getting drunk 3 nights a week in college and not running and doing hard shit.
Yeah. 100%. And it's back to that like kid in high school. It's like, you're enough. You know, it came to me, what I would say to him is like, you're enough, and just be you. And you know, there's like things inside of me that I'm now starting to come up. Like I took an improv class and I'm like, oh, this is like, I love this. And I feel light up, and it's like something I've never tried before, but I've like felt it inside of me for a while, you know? And so like, yeah, there's so many things that, maybe we hold ourselves back from because we're scared or we don't think it's the right thing to do. But yeah.
What's the next big thing for you?
Become a dad.
Yeah.
That's by the time this airs, it could be.
You will.
Yeah.
I'm sure. This is already after your due date.
Yeah.
Is when it's slotted. How do you think early dadhood will compare to some of these crazy challenges you've done?
Probably pretty similar, you know. It's like it's not a sprint. It's you know, you're having to show up every day. You know, I think there's an element that similar to the Vegas race of like, you know, I've been reading books and listening to podcasts and we're getting the house ready, but you have no idea what you're getting yourself into until you're in it, and you just kind of have to adapt and go on the road, you know. But also like, you know, the endurance community is small, but the like raising kids community is endless, you know? And so, but even like if I'm, in the speed project, my ankle was blowing up, I could call a friend and be like, what do I do? He can help me through it. And so like being able to have moms and friends going through raising a baby is going to be super, super helpful.
Yeah.
And obviously the sleep deprivation is a thing. I'm excited for it. Like I am feeling like it is a challenge I'm doing where I know it's going to be gnarly, but I like enjoy the gnarliness of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to be up at, 1, 3 a.m.
Just doing the thing.
Yeah.
You can be a good dad.
I think so.
I think you know that.
Yeah.
And I think you could tell. I can tell.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. All right. Everyone who comes on the show gets asked this question, and sometimes it's where we end right here. Sometimes it's the beginning of the final chapter.
Okay.
The question is, what do you think it means to be a man nowadays?
What do I think it means to be a man nowadays? I think there's almost like two things going on. Like I'm a self-identified girl's girl. And so I think that there's a moment where men can almost like politely take a step back and like become truly like equal with women and like hear them and be responsive to them and really kind of help build a new world that's not the direction that it's going right now.
Mm-hmm. What kind of traits do you think you have that come out when you're being a girl's girl?
I don't know. Like I don't have that like instinct where I need to like be overpowering or be too controlling or be like
fix everything.
Solve
every problem.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just like, no, we can just like chill and like work this together and just not be assholes is like it's a huge thing. I think the world in general is getting very like dominant and very aggressive and it's obviously like being married, I see both sides of it, not physically, but going through it. Even just like the pregnancy journey and seeing what she's had to go through is like, that's the most insane thing I've ever witnessed. And like what it does to the body and the mental and the whole thing on top of like having to work and do everything is like, it's extremely impressive. So I don't know where I'm going with that, but I think, what would you say to that answer?
Man, I've got a lot of answers.
Okay, yeah.
For me, and it's funny, people ask me a lot outside of this show too. Just like, you've like asked this to like a lot of people when you talk about it constantly. Like, what do you see? To me, it comes down to, I call it the 2 Ps. This is the 3 Ps. Some people call it the 3 Ps. I think it's 2: provide and protect.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that it's always, not just nowadays, it's always been provide and protect. But nowadays, there's a bit of an evolved definition of provide and protect. Provide, of course, it means like, provide resources, provide shelter, food, safety. But now I think it also means like provide emotional safety, provide nurturing, provide listening, or things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of the soft stuff that we all attribute with like feminine traits, we can do them in masculine ways.
Yeah.
If you or not, like however you want to. And then protect, of course, protect physically. If a burglar breaks into my house, I want to protect my wife and kids from the burglar.
Sure, yeah.
Right. Protect emotionally from myself. Like I have days where I want to put someone's head through a fucking wall and I'm this close.
Yeah.
Don't. Like learn how to not. Learn how to maybe walk away for a second. Unfortunately, a lot of men struggle to do that, to protect people from themselves, help protect people from themselves. Like my closest friend's family partner, I know where they're going to self-sabotage because I know them really well, or I know when they're spiraling, and sometimes it just means like they might just need a fucking really good hug right now, or they might need you to be like, hey, no, you're not actually what you think you are right now, or whatever. Like, protect them from themselves. And I think that there's an element, there's a few other pieces I'll add: taking radical accountability, do what you say what you do, which essentially also means reliability, and to have a mission.
Yeah.
I don't know if that one's required, but it's pretty damn close.
Yeah.
And that mission could be anything.
Just believe in something.
Fucking something.
Yeah.
Like have a purpose.
Because I think that then shows up emotionally too. Of like if you're just doing your job and you show up in this and then you come home and you're just like, what are you doing? You know, like believe in something. I even felt it myself, like for other companies before Earthy that I would work for. It's like, I don't feel like myself, and I could know my energy levels wouldn't show up to meet her after work and be there for her and just like be fun to be around, you know?
Yeah.
But then since like, obviously I starting a company has its own risks, which probably dock me in other categories, you know, but you know, I feel that I'm the version of myself that I like want to show her, at least in terms of like energetically, which is like a huge thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think of it in a very logical sense where like, let's play out two scenarios. One where you have a purpose and a mission, one where you don't. Start with the one where you do. So, okay, you've got your thing. It's like, here's what I am doing for the world, essentially. And maybe that some examples might be like, my purpose is to raise a healthy, happy family. Maybe your purpose is like, my purpose is to cure hunger in X country. Whatever it might be. Through that, you're able to derive your values, your principles, your code of conduct in how you treat others, how you treat yourself, and how you allow others to treat you. So then, as you operate life and you're just navigating life, shit comes up. You have at least a framework to like, when so-and-so happens or I do X, Y, and Z, I know how to handle it. Like I can then run the playbook. If someone does X to me, I do blank. If you don't have purpose or a mission, I think it's a lot harder to derive those values and those principles and that moral ground, your code of conduct. So then you're kind of then just like operating aimlessly.
Yeah.
When something comes up in life, as they do, someone does something to you, you do something to yourself, whatever it is, then what are you basing your decision-making process off? A lot of people turn to religion for this. That's great. A lot of people, their purpose is to come closer to God. Like fucking awesome purpose.
Yeah.
It's not mine personally, but like I love hearing that one.
Yeah.
There from that, like something bigger than you derive your your principles.
Sure.
And I think a lot of men these days don't have strong morals, principles, guidelines, code of conduct. And I say that because when they get tested, they flip the fuck out. That to me is a problem.
Yeah, I agree. And even you talking, like in my mind, when you say what's your mission and purpose, I immediately go to what do you do for work? And I think that is also a little toxic because like you don't have to be completely tied to what you do for work. You know, like you said, the purpose could be to raise an awesome family. Work is a factor that helps you do that.
In one way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not like who you are and what your mission and purpose is. So just like expanding, like, you know, back to the kid you're talking about, like you don't have to be so tied to your job. If you don't like your job, you can have a bigger purpose. You can have a bigger mission to focus on, and just work is one asset to that.
Yeah. I forget which podcast it was that I was listening to. But I'm going to do my best to paraphrase what I took out of it. They're talking about male suicide. It's a tricky subject and a very big one right now.
Yeah.
Suicide doesn't get talked about a lot on this show, but we get there every now and then. I think it's important to get into this. There was a study that was done where pulled a large group of men who had attempted suicide but didn't succeed in it. And they were asked shortly after the time of their attempt, and also looked at the letters they had written and the notes and stuff, just kind of studied these guys. They looked at how did they describe themselves? What were the words they used to describe themselves? And the number one word that came up was useless.
Damn.
If you break that apart, it's basically saying, I have no use. There is no use in me. In other words, I have no purpose here.
Yeah.
What's the point of me? And that if we want to then play it back, is the number one reason men commit suicide is this lack of purpose. I think that's accurate. I see that. And the things I hear, I think that's accurate. So then they shared a story. The story was there was a guy whose job his whole life is a janitor at a middle school for many, many years. The happiest guy. They're like, really? Like, he's a janitor. He like literally cleans up garbage all day. How could he be so happy? And as they got in to talk to the guy, he's like, no, look, every morning I wake up and 150 children rely on me to turn on the lights and unlock the door, make sure these hallways are clean. And then they get to go learn all day and they become positive members of this society. And he's like, I've seen generations after generations of kids in my 40 years doing this.
Yeah.
Come through this school and then grow up and contribute to this town or move on and do great things. And he's like, I unlocked the door for them every day.
Yeah.
I turned on the lights for them every day. I cleared the hallways for them every day. That's fucking purpose.
For sure, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so I have younger brothers. I mentor young entrepreneurs in college. And I have this podcast. I think all I want, man, is for just more guys to have more purpose.
Yeah. I would ask though that I think I've heard that story too, and it's amazing. I do think that like with the rise of social media and the comparison, that like that guy, if he was, say, I don't know how your brother is, but like 20 and he had that job as a janitor, would he feel the same purpose,
Today,
yeah. Or is he now going to be comparing it to fucking Jake Paul or whoever, or even, us? You got a cool podcast. It's like, oh man, I'm just cleaning out shit, versus doing something bigger, So I don't know how to like.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
My guess would be the guy who shared that story, let's say he's 80.
Yeah.
That probably didn't click for him until he was 65, right?
Yeah.
And I wonder what he thought, when he was thinking about it when he was 20, early in that role.
Yeah.
Part of me thinks that's the point a little bit.
To like get past that.
Yeah, it's like you ever heard the phrase, like you don't realize they're the golden days until they're like you're in the golden days now.
Yeah.
Something like that. Weird analogy here, but I don't know. I almost wonder like the point is to like deal with all the self-doubt and the like, what the fuck am I doing? And let your life get fucked up a few times to then eventually one day you look back and realize like, no, you know what? Like I had like a big impact on a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I had an important role here.
Yeah.
I was of use.
Totally.
I was of value.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. I just, I've known people going through suicidal thoughts as well too. Is like, how do you get them over that to then get to that other side,
Do you ever sit down and say to them like, bro, like you're valuable. Like, let's look at all the things that, and because I've done that. I've spoken those words to people that are essentially on the ledge, and it's like it's not helpful to them in the moment.
Yeah,
I don't know what to say.
I agree, and it's almost like they don't want to hear it.
It's kind of like someone saying like you're having a real lot of anxiety, and like, yo, just chill out.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst thing to hear.
Yeah. I to be honest, don't know the answer, but
yeah, sometimes it's just good to ask a question.
Yeah. It's a heavy, very sad thing though. But I hope things like your podcast and other resources definitely can help people through that.
Hope so.
Yeah.
All right, man. So you mentioned something a few minutes ago. You'd asked about what does it mean to be a man? You said for me or for society at large?
Oh,
you said for you. I am curious what you think for
society at large.
For men in general, yeah.
I think it's just to be an ally, and especially like to take a step further, like us as white men too, in this like world that's happening right now. There's just a lot of pain and suffering to people not like us, and so there's a moment for us to just be there and help where we can, and not have to make it about us, and stand up for for others, whatever that means in your life and how you can, I think is like super needed and really important, and should be talked about more for sure. Yeah.
Love it. How can people find you online?
Instagram at Brooks Bash. I'm sure it'll get tagged up. That's the best place stuff. And go buy some Earthy if you
buy
need some
Earthy.
energy.
Dude,
yeah.
We didn't talk about Earthy at all. That was by design. Give the quick run through of what is Earthy.
Earthy is a cacao-based coffee alternative. It's got a leaf called the Wayusa leaf in it, which is a caffeine source from the rainforest. It basically just gives you smooth, focused energy, makes you feel like a superhero. So to go run forever or crush before work.
If one life-changing thing could come out of this podcast for you, for Earthy, what would that be?
Some angel investor hears what we've been up to and writes us a nice juicy check.
Okay. So fundraising is the thing right now?
Fundraising is what I'm learning, the big thing right now. Or if, every single person goes and buys 10 bags, that would be also beneficial.
Okay. Yeah. I admittedly haven't tried it because I don't do caffeine.
Oh.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
I haven't had caffeine. I haven't had one sip of it in a year and a half. And so I'm scared. I'm scared to take your product because what's going to happen? Not because of jitters or anything like that, but more to break my commitment to no more caffeine.
Yeah.
Should I get over that and still try it because it's different, or like there's caffeine?
I don't want to take you off your journey. Why did you start that?
The last couple of years I've been just interested in like every now and then take one more thing away.
That's fair.
And just kind of see like not how stripped down could I get, but kind of. I think I am very passionate in general, obviously, about health and wellness at large, but one of the main elements of that I'm super passionate about is our food system in the US and how absolutely disgusting it is, and how wildly fed up I am with it. And so, I don't drink alcohol really anymore. I quit sugar.
Nice.
Just invested in a nice new water filter system.
Nice.
But it started with gluten and dairy when I was like late teens.
Okay.
And then throughout the years, I've done other like here and there elimination things. But I've had no gluten and dairy for about 15 years now.
Nice.
And then caffeine. That one I was just kind of like, do I need this? Like, I'm drinking, 2 to 4 cups of black tea or matcha a day. Used to be coffee, and then I was like, no more coffee.
Yeah.
And then the 3 weeks post no caffeine was brutal.
I can imagine.
I was like, I've never had withdrawals from anything before. That was intense.
Yeah, the headaches.
Yeah, and then it just it was like 1 week of awful headaches and the spins all day. And then second week was like every other day, and the third week was like every 3 days. And then by week 4, essentially, it was like, it's fine. And I was like, I'm good. I feel fine. I don't need this.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, why bring it back? That's kind of all it was.
Yeah.
And now it's no sugar.
Okay.
Except for fruit.
Yeah.
And I feel fucking awesome. So,
yeah. I mean, it's like whatever works for you. You know, it's like fine. Life is about tinkering and just, I'm fully vegan now, and it was the same thing. Like I had really chronic back issues for 3-4 years. Like doctor said I needed surgery, could basically never be active again. He literally looked me in the eyes and said, like, you need surgery and you can't be active again. And I was like, 22-year-old, like, are you what? Like, no. And so I basically told him to fuck off and like just started like tinkering on myself and got really into like Chinese medicine and took away like red meat and took away this, and just eventually like all animal products gone, and like all the inflammation was just like gone. I was like, oh wow, this feels better. And just started like, then added, other stuff on top of that and this, and then here I am today, running 3,000 miles and ripping.
Fuck that doctor.
Yeah.
But it's really wild to me how, I mean, I've had not as intensive stories, but like similar realizations. And I've heard so many of these from friends. It's like, literally, it's all just the food.
Yeah.
It's all in the food.
Yeah.
And so I very much believe food as medicine. Food is medicine.
Yeah.
The best preventative medicine you could possibly take as well. Is that a large motivator behind Earthy?
It is like the motivator.
That's the thing.
Yeah. So I like, I actually went and worked for a different supplement company. I was there for a year and a half. I won't say the name, but like no one's ever heard of them. But we were in Vitamin Shop and we were scaling. And, it was pitched as this like healthy, clean product. And, that's what we were selling, and that's what we were pushing, and that's the marketing and everything. And basically, we started getting emails from customers being like, what's the sweetener from? Or like, what's the caffeine from? And I was told like, organic green tea was the caffeine. Oh, and like no artificial this, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of kept coming, and it felt weird. And literally my mom, being like one of my biggest supporter, was taking this thing every day, and she's really caffeine sensitive. And one day just had like a really crazy reaction to the product. And I was like, something is wrong. Like, what's up? So I went straight to our manufacturer and I was like, hey, I need to see exactly what's in here. And like the list that they gave me was frightening. Like synthetic caffeine from China, proprietary blend this, artificial this. Like the sweetener was a proprietary blend that the sweetening house wouldn't even tell us what was in it. And like, I'm like, it shattered my whole universe. I was like, how can we be selling this in like a national distribution and like no one cares? Like no one's even checking, or no one cares. And that's when I like really understood that like there's no regulations on supplements. You can put whatever you want into a bottle and sell it. People put sawdust in it to mix it. There's a term called angel dusting, where you just like put a sprinkle and, oh yeah, this is lion's mane, but it's like you're not getting anything, and just like the whole thing kind of blew up in my face. And so yeah, that's why I started Earthy. Is like we're completely transparent. We tell you every ingredient. We tell you the dose amount of like what you're getting, and then literally like the farm where it comes from, so you can have like a full vision of it. And
do you think people care enough about that, like this side of it? Like I've seen some of your clips where you're like walking through the factory and you're like, use the ingredients. Like,
yeah.
Does that click for people? Like, oh, sick! Like finally, like a brand that I can.
Some people for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's like hardos like me where like I look at every label and I need to know.
Yeah.
Like my wife was at the store today trying to get some protein powder, and there's like a whole like website you can see like if your protein has lead in it, and we're like on there looking. I think we're like a very small percentage. It's also an education thing. Like you have to care and you have to be aware, and then the rest of people just want to like, how much is it and what does it make me feel like? But I know that if it's the cleanest, purest ingredients in the amount we say, like it'll also make you feel really good.
Something I'm struggling with is part one of this. I was, I don't know, probably like early 20s or something, started to realize like, oh, like really started to click for me. And I grew up with a wildly neurotically healthy dad. So like no packaged goods in the house, basically just like all whole foods. So I at least had the foundation of that, which I'm super grateful for.
Yeah.
Shout out Dan.
Yeah. Like sounds like me.
Yeah. But the first like kind of wake up was like, oh shit, like he was right. And I think that's, your early to mid 20s, you just have to realize like, oh wait, yeah, dad was right.
Yeah, that's right.
Was him saying all the time, like, just because it's marketed to you as healthy doesn't mean it actually is. Like it's good marketing.
Yeah.
And also when we were teenagers and growing up, there was way less of that. It's like the beginning of
CBG.
Yeah, like the weird.
Yeah.
So at the beginning of like, oh no, this is like a healthier cookie.
Oh yeah.
Or like protein soda.
Yeah.
And so the beginning of that, like, oh, okay, cool. Like they're making healthier cookies now that are like 100-calorie packed brownies. Like that's nice. So we'll eat those.
Yeah.
And you start to realize like, oh wait, no, that's just good fucking marketing. So that was like shatter number one. And then years of like, oh no, kind of just only want to eat healthy things from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Shatter number two was even more recent of realizing like, wait a second, this organic apple at Whole Foods actually might not be good for me either.
Yeah.
So what the fuck's going on now? I can't eat anything.
Yeah.
Like the only way to be like good here is to have my own farm in my backyard and like my own cows and my own chickens.
Yeah.
Which is very disturbing.
And impossible for the world to do.
Yeah. So like, what do I do? What do we do?
I mean, that's a huge question. It is the apple thing too. It's like the plastic wrap is what you're referring to, I think, around it.
Or just like the amount of all the steps that the organic broccoli had to go through to end up on my plate has like 4% the nutritional value is what it's supposed to have.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like you might as well just not even eat the broccoli at all.
Yeah.
And that's the organic one that you bought at Whole Foods.
Which also there's no way to actually prove that it is organic. There's no like test or anything. I would say eat local. So like farmers markets are great. So it's like they truly had to grow it somewhere close to you to get it there. So there's way less cooks in the kitchen. If you have the ability to grow your own food, that's great. But, generally, like, if you can eat local and then just stay, like we say, like, on the outside of the grocery store. So, like, don't go in the aisles, but just stay around the outside. You're generally doing a good job. I think it's impossible in the world we live in to, like, hit it out of the park every single time.
Something I love to travel, right? I love to travel.
Yeah.
I'm really not into touristy shit. I like to go to, like, fucking crazy corners of the earth and, like, just kind of get myself into trouble a little bit almost. And one thing that I noticed in the last couple of years, it's an interesting pattern. I think I really want a lot of people to travel for many reasons, this being one of them, which is you go to, like, local, basically farmers markets, and in a lot of countries, that's the only
Just
source
like a
of
market.
food. Market.
Yeah.
And you see all the produce. It's all really ugly.
Yeah.
Like every potato, every banana, every orange, whatever, it all looks like fucking gross. And then that's all you can get there.
Yeah.
You eat it, and it's like the most delicious, fresh, unbelievable produce you've ever had.
Yeah.
And you feel so good after it. You come back to the States and you go to the grocery store and everything's like so shiny and pretty, and like every banana looks perfect. Every strawberry is like the size of your hand, beautiful. You realize that is all fake. The real shit looks kind of weird and gross and like lumpy and covered in dirt still, sort of, and like issues with it. And it's like, no, wait, hold on. My whole life, like, of course, my brain has been now wired to like eat this nice, shiny, good-looking food here that's healthy. That's actually the bad shit. The good shit is the like dull, not so colorful good stuff, even though, and that's really where you want to be.
Yeah.
And you don't realize that until you leave the United States.
For sure, yeah. Like that person probably picked it like
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
A block away.
Yeah. And it's like, that's all they
didn't even wash it yet.
Yeah. Which is also great. Dirt is good for you too. It's like, great. Yeah. I mean, if people have the ability to travel and see that, it's like, what weirds me out is, and especially because you said you have a gluten thing, can you eat gluten in Europe and not here?
Yeah.
Yeah. That always shocks me.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. It's just like food has become such a business and marketing and a whole system where the person's health and outcome isn't necessarily what's important. It's to sell more stuff.
How'd you guys land on basically this expression, this product versus, it could have been any other type of food. You could have done protein bars. You could have done creatine. You could have done smoothies. Like, why a bag of energy coffee replacement, basically?
It honestly started as an alternative to pre-workout. And so, like, I'm sure you have, like me, tried every pre-workout out there back in the day.
Yeah, I won the last time I threw up neon green in the middle of a workout. I was like, never again.
Yeah, the one like Jack 3D that had like methamphetamines in it, and like it was
basically just like legal cocaine.
It was crazy. It's like, why you take this stuff to go be healthy, and it's just like couldn't be more from the opposite, Yeah. And so
I found the best pre-workout is anxiety.
Yeah. There you go.
Go have just a bad day at work.
Yeah.
That's the best fucking
pre-workout. Just try to sit still for like 8 hours and then you'll go rip your head off. Yeah. So yeah, I actually started as a pre-workout. We called it like pre-movement to be like edgy. But then, and so like every ingredient was, that backfired a little bit because older people thought it was like to help your bowels move.
Oh.
Yeah. They're like, I don't know if I want this before a run. And I was like, I see.
It's fair.
That's fair.
Fail fast.
Yeah. So now it's energy beverage. But yeah, so it started as a pre-workout, very intentionally designed to like have cordyceps, which increases blood flow and oxygen. At the time, it had beets in it, which is awesome for the same. And then the caffeine. And then it evolved into, obviously, energy drinks are crap. There's good ones out there starting to. But then now most of the people actually take it as a coffee alternative. Because coffee really is the pre-workout for runners. Because you're not going to take a shitty pre-workout and go run, or like a Celsius and go run. So it would be like the pre-workout for runners. And so now we're kind of like, and it's something you take every day, It's like you start your day with it. So it's like, why not start your day with like something really organic and good for you that like I can tell you it's as clean as it possibly can be, And a lot of people, I don't know if they can.
Cool. Yeah. Love it. Maybe I'll start drinking like a little bit as pre-workout here and there.
Honestly, like I've known people who, I mean, they say not to try anything new on race day, but for you've got 2 coming up. So maybe for one of them.
I mean, every week there's some big long ride or long run that I need something for.
True. Yeah.
So I got some time.
Take a little hit of it. Yeah.
Try it out. Love it, dude. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We covered a lot of ground. I'm glad we finished up with nutrition and all that. So thank you, man.